Did you know that you can learn some strategies from the spaghetti sauce war in the 1980s? In this video, I'll be talking about the business lessons that you can learn from the spaghetti sauce war that started in the 1980s. Now, the spaghetti sauce war started in 1986 because there were two brands. One is Ragu and the other is Prego. Now, Prego is owned by the Campbell Soup Company. And at that time, Campbell Soup Company was very desperate to increase the sales revenue for this particular product, the Prego spaghetti sauce. And they actually asked themselves and said how come we cannot sell more Prego spaghetti sauce? Because we feel our product is better than Ragu. We feel our product is thicker, it has diced tomatoes, and our spaghetti sauce sticks better to pasta. So what happened was, in order to have a different outcome, Campbell Soup Company decided to hire this man called Howard Moskowitz. Now, Howard Moskowitz is the number one reason why there is a lot of different flavors for food and beverage brands in your supermarket right now. And his background is that he's an American market researcher and he's a psychophysicist. Now, when he was hired to help Campbell Soup Company increase the sales of Prego spaghetti sauce, what he did was he looked at the past practice of Campbell Soup Company. In those days, what the food and beverage industry would do is that they would gather a group of people and then create this focus group and then ask the focus group of spaghetti eaters, what do you want? So what he said was his justification of not following the past practices was this. He would say, how can the spaghetti eaters tell you something of what they want when they have not been exposed to that option in the market itself? Now, if we were to compare that to today's scenario when it comes to, for example, the iPhone, before the iPhone is actually created, how would you know what kind of mobile phone you want? It's only when the iPhone was created and pushed out there into the market that the consumers realized that they could have a different mobile phone experience. So then I go back to this spaghetti sauce war story. So what did Howard Moskowitz do? He actually said that he'll come up with a new method. He would create an experiment where he would work with the Campbell Soup Kitchen Company, and together with the staff, they would come up with 45 varieties of spaghetti sauce. And the spaghetti sauce would be different in terms of spiciness, sweetness, tartness, saltiness, thickness, aroma, mouthfeel, and cost of ingredients. And you may be asking 45 varieties of spaghetti sauce seems excessive. However, Howard Moskowitz knew what he was doing and he actually conducted two methods of the experiment. The first method was this. He would get trained panel of food tasters to taste all the 45 varieties. They would give a ranking, and with the ranking itself, he would narrow down the spaghetti sauce to the second method. Now, in the second method, what he did was he traveled with those shortlisted spaghetti sauce varieties, and what he would do is he would go to different states in US. He would take the person off the street and then he would group them in groups of 25 people. And then he would ask these groups of 25 people that to eat the 8 to 10 bowls of spaghetti sauce within a 2-hour time frame. And he said, after you eat each bowl of spaghetti sauce, I want you to give a rating of 1 to 100. So 100 meaning that it's a great spaghetti sauce, you love it, and 1 being that you just don't like it at all. Now, after he had conducted his experiment throughout different states in the US, he compiled all the data about the feedback of this average people basically. And what he came to find out was this. People like spaghetti sauce into 3 different types, which is number 1, plain, number 2, spicy, number 3, extra chunky. Now he realized something exciting. When he took back this finding to Campbell, and Campbell looked at his findings and they got really, really excited. Because extra chunky spaghetti sauce was a new category that they had not provided in their product range, and also the competitor had not provided specific this category in their product range as well. As a result, they decided to take a challenge and they decided to take a gamble, and based on the data that Howard Moskowitz had presented to them, in 1989 or 1990s, Campbell Soup Company had launched Prego Extra Chunky Spaghetti Sauce into the market. And as a result of this bold, daring product launch itself, the company experienced increase in sales revenue by millions and more millions over the years. And because their competitor never had this extra chunky spaghetti sauce in their product range itself, they were able to get market share and able to then further accelerate their growth. And then as a result of that, they were able to then realize that maybe they should tap into different flavors of spaghetti sauce in the market using the methodology that Howard Moskowitz had shared with them. Now, you may be asking, as a business person, as an entrepreneur, or even as a marketer, what kind of lessons can you learn from this story? The spaghetti sauce war story. Now, in the past, in this industry, in the 1980s, what happened was the food and beverage companies were pretty much obsessed about creating one product that looked and tasted perfect. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to hit the mass population with that perfect product. So that's why they were obsessed about creating the perfect product. Now, when Howard Moskowitz came into the picture and did his experiment, that changed the way the industry looked at consumers. They realized that you can't create the perfect product to hit everybody in the market, but what you should be realizing is that we have different consumers that like different things. And in order to tap into these different consumers, what we should be doing is that we should be creating different varieties of our products to cater to these different consumers. As a result, this is why today, whenever you go to a supermarket store, you will see 36 flavors of spaghetti sauce. You will see probably 15 flavors of chocolate. You'll see like 20 flavors of potato chips. And the reason why this industry has changed drastically is because of Howard Moskowitz's finding. He made the industry realize that we should stop thinking of our customers as just one entity. We should think of them as people that have different human preferences. And therefore, in order to tap into those human preferences and cater and serve this community, we have to realize that, number one, we have to acknowledge they're different. Number two, we have to create products that cater to their individual human preferences as well. Now, not only that, as a marketer, I realized something very, very interesting about this story. When we have a problem that we have to fix when it comes to coming out with increasing sales revenue, chances are at many times we have different hypotheses about how can we tackle the problem, like how can we solve the problem. And one way for us to do that when it comes to problem solving is to have hypotheses and use experiments and data that will help us to identify opportunities to serve our customers and consumers. So in the example of this spaghetti sauce story, right? Because Howard Moskowitz had used the data that he gathered, he was able to actually identify this new opportunity to actually create a new product offering. And because Campbell's competitor did not have that product range itself, they were able to use this data and to have confidence before they launched the product that people already like this product. It's just that it's never existed in the market. And so when they launched the product, this had a significant impact on their sales revenue by millions and millions of dollars. And I believe that whenever a company is able to identify a new product range that is not existent in the market, but consumers already indicate they like it, that is how companies are able to gain market share and also wipe out their competitors, basically, because they realize the fundamental purpose of businesses is to serve your consumers. Make sure that your consumers are actually happy. And the reason how companies are able to cater to consumers is this. They're able to first use data to understand what are the human preferences of their consumers. And then when they design a product, they realize that, when they take that time of resources, effort, and human labor to actually launch a product, they realize at a 70% to 80% confidence level that they know with the resources that they've devoted, that this product has a high chances of being successful. And I think that's how important data is actually when it comes to creating new product ranges, creating new things for our market.